You know, I did a video a couple months ago where I talked about what movies and stuff need to be released on need to probably get a Blu-ray and maybe even a DVD release for the first time. Now, some people pointed out that some of the movies I mentioned had already gotten the Blu-ray treatment. Well, some had mentioned and agreed that some of the movies I also mentioned didn't get either DVD or Blu-ray. Well, I'm not here to talk about that now. I'm here to talk about something differently. I'm here to talk about animated TV shows. That's right. I know I've probably touched on them a couple of times in videos, but I haven't really gone into full length. You see, with animated TV shows, whether they're from the 2000s, recently, the 90s, the 80s, 60s, 70s, whatever, I know a lot of people out there, Zara Nizarak among others, will come out and say that, them being on DVD is a blessing. There's no doubt about that. And I agree. I mean, heck, when you take a look at Warner Brothers, they got this variety pack of cartoons, sorted out by decade, 60s, 70s, 80s, of a lot of their Saturday morning cartoons they showed during those decades, if you will. However, the thing is, though, we also have box sets from Hanna-Barbera. We have box sets based on Hasbro shows. We have box sets based on Disney shows and whatnot, and syndicated shows we may or may not remember. And one of the things that always got me when these got released was, would it be possible for another format for these shows to be released in? And when Blu-ray came around, I really didn't think about it much until they started releasing some primetime shows and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, that's cool. But then later on, I find out that the only reason they're able to release these primetime shows and everything is because they were filmed they were filmed with actual film. Now, some people will say that's the only reason they were released. Now, they have also said there have been some shows, primetime and animated, well, mostly primetime, that can't get a Blu-ray release because they were recorded and filmed on VHS tape or videos tape. Well, I guess we got proven wrong, if you will. Yeah, we got proven wrong. Because I was watching one of Zara Nizarak's package opening videos. I mentioned this briefly, I think, in one of the videos. He received Justice League. Received Justice League Season 1 on Blu-ray from a fan. And I thought to myself when I saw this, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Justice League came out in 2000, around the beginning of the 2000s, way before Blu-ray was even being considered, well, probably being developed and all that, but not really marketed yet worldwide. And yet, here's a show that started out as a standard definition show, if you will, and yet it's being released on Blu-ray. And that got me thinking, well, if that is possible for a Blu-ray release, then maybe other shows are possible for a Blu-ray release. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's take a look at some of the shows from the 90s and mostly from the 80s that would look so good on Blu-ray. For example, I'm looking at right now Gem and the Holograms, the truly outrageous complete series that I own. I own the box set from Shout Factory. I know a lot of people would say, and even Zara Nizarak would say this, that there is no way that would be able to be transferred to Blu-ray. But think about it. If Warner Brothers can transfer the first season of Justice League, a season that initially people would say is more suitable for DVD release than anything else, then there's no doubt they could do the same with Gem. There's no doubt. I mean, I mentioned this in my comparison between Mill Creek and Shout Factory, and I said both Mill Creek and Shout Factory, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them was thinking and considering converting a lot of the shows, Hasbro, Dick/Cookie Jar Entertainment shows, trying to convert them for Blu-ray release. And you have to admit, the conversion wouldn't be too bad. I mean, when you think about it, Gem, Transformers Generation 1, G.I. Joe Generation 1, they're all seen on the Hub channel, am I right? The Hub channel also has an HD channel as well, which means you could watch the shows in high definition. So if that's possible, then there's no doubt Gem and the Holograms, Transformers Generation 1, G.I. Joe Generation 1, Mask, and maybe a few others out there, maybe even Inhumanoids if they ever get released by Shout Factory. You know, and maybe My Little Pony Generation 1 might all have potential for DVD, not for DVD, but a Blu-ray release. I mean, the conversion could be done. I mean, technology evolves every day, every second of a day. Every second of a day, it evolves. So I wouldn't put it past, like I said in my video, Shout Factory and Mill Creek to think about that. Because think about it this way. We all know sooner or later, as much as I hate to say it, DVDs are going to become the VCRs of this generation, of the past generation, and get surpassed by Blu-ray. We all know that. We all know they're going to get surpassed. And we all know Blu-rays are going to do what DVDs did, and that's dominate the market. I mean, sooner or later down the line, you're going to see less and less DVDs and more Blu-rays. As a matter of fact, you'll see less and less DVD recorders and more Blu-ray recorders. Get the picture? What I'm saying is I believe it's a possibility down the line that this could happen, and the possibility could happen sooner than later. I mean, think of it this way. Take a look at Mill Creek. You know, one of the complaints some people do have is the difference between them and Shout, and I mentioned this in the video, is that Mill Creek adds about 8 or 10 more episodes onto a disc than what Shout Factory, onto a set, than Shout Factory originally did when they released that show or program or movie or whatever you want to call it when they had the license. And sometimes by doing so, they downgrade just a bit, the quality of the picture. They downgrade it. Excuse me. I booped it. But they downgrade the quality just by a bit. So if they're willing to do that, then what makes you think they're not going to stop at probably thinking, hey, let's do Blu-ray releases? I'm sure they've been thinking about that. Heck, they look at like a show like Roseanne or 30 Rock from the Sun, and they look at all these movie packs and primetime packs and stuff like that they release. Don't think for one instance they're not thinking Blu-ray is a good upgrade for them. We should do that. Heck, they got 4 movies that they put together in a pack. I think 4 movie pilots for shows or would-be shows that didn't make it. One of them was The Great American Heroine, or The Greatest American Heroine, or whatever it was. And here was the thing. You don't think for one instance they're not looking at that and saying Blu-ray upgrade eventually? You don't think they're thinking that? Of course they are. Same with Shout Factory. Shout Factory looks at Transformers Generation 1, the Japanese collection. They're taking a look at Beast Wars and Beast Machines, maybe. And yeah, Beast Machines is being considered. And in Gem and G.I. Joe and the spin-offs, and you don't think they're not thinking, yeah, Blu-ray. Blu-ray upgrade is definitely in its future. It's definitely in its future. I mean, heck, I wouldn't be surprised if Shout Factory's conversing right now with Sony and BMG, whoever released the movie last. I think who released the movie last on DVD, and thinking, Blu-ray. If the people in the UK could do a Blu-ray release for them, so can we. And I think that's what they're thinking about. I mean, I'm sure Shout Factory looks at a show like Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats, The Littles, Carmen Sandiego, Archie's Weird Mysteries, and they think, yeah, Blu-ray is definitely the way to go for these in the future. And again, it goes back to the fact that technology evolves every year, every day. So that is why I wouldn't put it past them to possibly very soon in the future, and I mean real soon in the future, to make an announcement that they're going to be converting them being Shout Factory, Mill Creek, and whoever, that they're going to convert the shows that they have released on DVD as DVD sets into Blu-ray sets. I would not be surprised. I mean, I even wouldn't put it past Warner Brothers and Disney, or Crouch, or Coach, whatever it's called, Coach Entertainment, who did the Galaxy Rangers and a few others, or BCI Entertainment, or whoever does the He-Man stuff now, He-Man and She-Ra stuff. I wouldn't put it past them to all consider, you know what, technology, and think the same thing. Like, yeah, technology is evolving. Maybe the next step very soon, probably sooner than we think, is going to be converting all these shows that we've released on DVD onto Blu-ray. Don't think it's not going to happen, because it will. You don't have technology evolve without trying to improve on something and trying to improve on something so you can give people what they want. You know what I'm saying? Again, I understand a lot of you will say it's impossible because of the film. It was shown on. It was created on. Yeah, I get that, but again, it's about technology evolving. And I think Blu-ray is in the future of these shows. I truly, truly believe it. Blu-ray's in their future. You may not agree with it. I may not agree with it. But you may not agree with it. I may not agree with, maybe it being done in a way that will make it look bad. But the truth is, you have to agree it's in their future, whether we like it or not. I mean, Lionsgate releases, well, I guess they used to release, and I think they still do. They have released all the original Ninja Turtle cartoons on DVD. Whether or not they have the license after they release season 10 of the original show is another story, but don't think they or Nickelodeon, whoever will own the license, is going to be not consider, yeah, Blu-ray would be perfect. I mean, take a look at TMNT. TMNT, the new show, the one that came out in 2003 and ended about a few years ago, with its movie finale. Don't think Nickelodeon's not looking at that and thinking, yeah, Blu-ray. Because if they see Justice League, who came out years before, getting a Blu-ray release, don't think they're not thinking about it. You see, that's my point. It's like Filmation. Filmation releases all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Don't think they're not thinking Blu-ray is definitely in the future now. It's more of a reality than we can expect. Don't think they don't know it. Don't think they don't know it, because they do. Don't think ADV Films knows it, because they do. My point is, folks, no matter what we think or how we feel about what could happen, we cannot deny that for shows like Transformers and G.I. Joe Generation 1, My Little Pony Generation 1, Gem and the Holograms, Sonic the Hedgehog even, Sonic Sat AM, Sonic Underground, Adventures of Sonic, and even Sonic X, along with the other shows that I mentioned, like Thundercats, Silverhawks, Galaxy Rangers and such, don't think Blu-ray's not in the future, because it is. It is in the future. Heck, maybe the reason Disney hasn't released a complete series of Tailspin, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, and a few others is maybe they're waiting for the opportunity to convert them to Blu-ray. Have we ever thought of that? I'm just saying, I think it's a possibility. Not that I'm saying it would happen, but I think it's a possibility. I mean, X-Men, the animated series, you don't think they're thinking about that? I mean, all the shows like I just mentioned, including shows like Heathcliff, including shows like, Archie's Weird Mysteries, Carmen Sandiego, The Littles, and the list can go on. Don't think they're not considering nowadays a possible conversion to Blu-ray, because they are. I mean, if you could take the first season of Justice League, despite how it was presented, and say, look, we're going to put it on Blu-ray, then they know that it's a possibility. The possibility to do it with the others. And again, you got to go back to the fact and realize that a lot of networks, a lot of cable channels out there have HD versions as well. And they wouldn't be able to show these shows in HD if they hadn't been able to convert them to that. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, in closing, what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if an announcement comes in the near future that a lot of the shows that I mentioned, animated-wise, and even some live-action ones like Roseanne and 30 Rock, and maybe some of those movie packs that people like Zaron Isaac owns, don't be surprised if they end up being announced for a Blu-ray release in the future. Don't be surprised by that. So, again, is it possible? I believe it is. Will we like the decision if it happens? Maybe, maybe not. But it's like they say, you can't judge it and you can't knock it before you try it and you watch it. So, that's all I'm going to say. Contact down below if you want. Comment down below. Video response if you like. And I'll talk to you later.